Hello and welcome to my tutorial ebook, Adding Fractions with Like Denominators, where every single problem is linked to a video tutorial. Alrighty, welcome to Tightrope Walking Panther. There he is. Alright, this is an on-your-own problem, so you should have solved the entire problem, and now you're watching this video to make sure you did everything correctly. Now, if you made a mistake, no worries, my friend. Just pause the video, fix your mistake. That's the fastest way to learn. So, here is the scenario. You have a favorite stuffed animal named Pinky the Panther. You decide to create a YouTube channel with a series of short movies called Pinky's Adventures. In one movie, you have Pinky who has joined a circus. Lucky guy. He is walking across a tightrope when the tightrope breaks and Pinky begins to fall. And here he's going across that tightrope. Pinky makes it 5/8 of a yard before the tightrope breaks. Let's just go ahead and write 5/8 because that's how far he went before the tightrope broke. Luckily, a circus clown is driving a fire truck underneath Pinky. Pinky lands on the ladder as the clown drives under him. The clown drives Pinky 7/8, let's write that down, 7/8 of a yard to a pool of whipped cream. Pinky jumps into the whipped cream, then stands up, licks his chops, and shouts, "That was fun. Let's do it again." And the crowd goes wild. Now, your challenge is to figure out how far Pinky traveled in all from the beginning of the tightrope to the whipped cream. So, let's go ahead and solve this problem. Okay, so the very first thing we shall do is create our mathematical model. So, you should have created two fraction boxes, like I'm doing right here. And they should be good size so you can draw your lines in there, and they should be right side by side. Now, sometimes what I like to do when I'm creating fraction boxes that have the same exact denominator like these do, I put them right side by side and then I draw the lines straight across, and that way I can make two fraction boxes at the same time. So let's go ahead and do that. Since I'm breaking these into 8 parts, that means I'm going to draw 7 lines. So I'm going to just draw a line straight across. There's 1 line, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, there's 6, and 7 lines straight across. That should give us 8 parts. Let's double check. I've got 1 right here, 2 in both of those, 3 in both of them, 4 in both of them, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Both of these boxes have 8 parts in them. So now in the first part where he was going across the tightrope, Pinky was able to go 5/8 of a yard. So I get to color in 5 of these. So I'm going to use yellow because I like that color. And I've got, I believe this is 5 right here. Let's see. Let's double check here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Sure enough, so I've got 5/8 right there. And if you did this, it should look exactly or similar to what I have right here. Now, you are adding, so I'm going to go ahead and make my plus sign right in here. I'll make it good and dark because I got all those other lines in there. And on this one, the fire truck, when he was riding the ladder of the fire truck, he was able to go 7/8 of a yard. So I'm going to color in all 7 of those. So I'm going to just grab right there. And then I've got all 7 of those. So I'm going to write 7. Oops, I don't want to use that color. I'm going to use black. 7/8 right there. So now I can do, the first thing I'll do is just count these up. And I'll just start counting. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I have 12 ace. Now, as I've talked before, this is top heavy, right? So, which means it's an improper fraction, which means I can make a whole fraction box out of one of these. So, and actually what I think I'll do is I'll just take this one here and move it up here, and that will give me a whole one full yard, right? So I'm going to do that right now, and what I'll do is just erase this here, and I'm going to move it right up here. And now, if I look at this, you can see that I've got one hole right here. I'm going to just do one big dark one here. And I've got one full yard. And then over here, I've got the 4 out of the 8, right? So 4 out of 8. So now watch how I do that with the number here. I'm going to just show you that this is actually equal to, where am I? Right there. Okay. So this is equal to 8/8, which is represented right here, the 8/8, plus 4/8, right? So I'm going to just write the plus 4/8. Now, this 8/8 is really a giant 1, right? Because it is one whole. So I could really write this as 1 and 4/8. Now, 4/8 can be reduced, but we're not going to worry about that at this point, okay? We're going to just call it 4/8. Just so you know, it could also be written as 1 and 1/2. But we're not worried about the 1 and 1/2. We're going to just stick with 1 and 4/8 at this point, okay? So you should have, now in this case I would like you to move this one so you have one full fraction box completely filled in. If you do not have that, then please pause it and fix it, and that way you get it correct. And you should have one full box, and you should have 4 out of the 8, and then you should have all this writing here as well. I do like you to show that the 12/8 gets is equivalent to or equal to 8/8 plus 4/8, and that then turns into the 1 and 4/8. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and look at the algorithm. And here I have written my algorithm, 5/8 plus 7/8. And the things to remember when you're adding or subtracting, in this case we're adding any fractions, you've got to, first of all, make sure you have common denominators, and these are both eighths, so we're good to go. And then the second thing is you only add or subtract, in this case we're adding the numerators, because that tells you how many parts you actually get. So when I take this, I go 5 plus 7, which will give me 12, and then I just bring over the eighth, because that tells us how many parts it's cut into. We don't add or subtract the denominator ever. And then once again, I can take this 12/8, and I know that I've got 8/8 plus 4/8, and I know that because the 12 is bigger than the 8, so it's improper or top heavy, right? So I can take 8/8 out of that, which is really the giant 1, right? So there's your giant 1, and I've got 1 and 4/8, so I can rewrite that as 1 and 4/8, which, as you see, agrees with our mathematical model right over there. Once again, this can be reduced into 1/2 because 4 is half of 8, right? But we're not going to worry about that right now. That's for later, my friends. The main thing, you needed to understand how to do the mathematical model and the algorithm. If you got it all correct, fantastic. If not, simply pause the video and fix it. That is the fastest way to learn, my friends. Until next time, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you soon.